Welcome back to Unqualified Commentary, where three best friends make unqualified commentary, and we really don't have a good intro, so there you go. So this week is an exciting week. We've been gone for about 2 weeks, and let me tell you, the sports news has newsed. It has been very, very exciting. But of course, we have to start off the podcast with our favorite plays of the week. And I will go ahead and go first because I absolutely love mine. So let me share my screen where I will show all you lovely people this.
That looks like a Jared McCain right here.
No, it's
It
not.
looks like him. I know it's not, but it looks like
This
him.
is Duke basketball and the power of friendship. So you can see Con Knipple grabs our lovely friend, Therese Protractor. Protractor. That's what I keep wanting to call him. I don't know why.
Protractor.
Proctor? It's Proctor. Okay. So our lovely friend, Con Knipple, grabs our friend Tyrese Proctor, who is falling over by the leg, and pulls him back in, and then voila, the power of friendship. And it was a legal play. Like, that's basketball IQ, like, 10,000. It's insane. Like, but I thought it was wildly entertaining because he just grabs him by the legs and pulls him back down. That's my play of the week. Shout out to Duke basketball. The power of friendship. All right. Jay, go ahead. I know what Jay's is, and Jay's is really good.
So excited. So I think the game was Friday night. Anyways, so the Boston Fleet were playing the New York Sirens, and a very exciting thing happened. We got a jailbreak goal with 20 seconds left to go in the first period. And who scored this goal? Elena Mueller. And Mueller's had kind of a rough season so far. This is only her second goal of the season. She got like an injury early on in the season. It's just kind of been a rough year for her. So it was awesome to see her just get the puck and break away down the ice. And the actual shot itself, it just kind of like slipped right in there. But the intensity over that fast break, that whole play, and the fact that we were shorthanded for that whole thing, just amazing. I love jailbreak goals. We explained jailbreak goals earlier in the podcast, but if you're just tuning in now to get the latest news, jailbreaks are unique to the PWHL right now. And I hope they implement this in the NHL. But it's essentially if your team is shorthanded and you have someone in the penalty box, if you score shorthanded, you can break your player out of jail, aka the penalty box. But it's really cool to see. It leads to more intensity in the games. I would love to see the NHL do it. I'm just happy. And Boston did go to win that game, so.
Fair enough.
Marcus.
Okay. I don't know how long ago this one happened. I mean, it's not that long ago because Unrivaled only started a couple weeks ago.
So excited to talk about Unrivaled.
So I'll share my screen because I have it pulled up. I gotta find it. This was one of my favorite plays that I saw. It's the block. The Courtney Williams block on Brittany Griner.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. The fact that this was even a jump ball is impressive. And there's a whole, I think I said it was like a 11-inch difference between their heights. One of them's like 5, or I think it was like a foot and like 1 foot 1 inch difference. It was like
Wow.
One's 5'8", one's 6'9", and then it's just like, oh, yep, blocked by the 5'8" person. And I was like, oh, what a block. And to force that jump ball. Oh, such a great play. I loved it. Defense wins offense.
We had some exciting news break this week about the new women's rugby league that is joining the US. And so Marcus and I haven't seen the logos. Like, I've glanced at them, and Marcus has also glanced at them. Jay, I'm pretty sure, has analyzed them in depth.
I may be following all of the leagues on TikTok already and drooling.
Amazing.
Guess what we'll do after this? Follow all of them back.
Yes, it's true. So we're gonna blind react-ish Jay won't be, obviously. But I have them pulled up, so let me show you guys the new and improved rugby league.
I've only seen Boston's because Jay brought it up, so I had to look it up.
All right.
Okay. But they might be playing in, well, we don't know where the hell they're playing yet. But my
Somewhere.
my coworker has a theory that the Boston Banshees might play in Foxborough, which is literally just a hop, skip, and a jump away from me.
I mean,
Um,
yeah.
and so I asked my coworker today, I'm like, if they're playing in Foxborough, can we go to games together? Because I want to see all of this. So
These are all really good logos.
they're all badass. Like, this is what we need when I say that we need good logos for women's leagues, because these all kick ass. I love the PWHL, but some of these do kick some of the PWHL logos ass. They
Yeah,
are,
the PWHL did a lot of letter art.
yes, which I do
This
have
is
to compete with. This is all,
yeah.
I love all of them.
I am absolutely like seeing these now. I had seen like briefly the Banshees one, and I'd seen a little bit of the Gemini, but like, oh my god. Okay, I will say it looks like the same graphic designer did all of them, which I think is
Yeah,
cool.
but I wouldn't put it past them. They're great.
But like also it kind of there's no really variety as far as like art goes. So that's kind of dependable whether or not you like that. But I like it personally. I think it's sick.
They all look like patches that you can like sew onto your jacket.
Well,
That's
that's
the
so
vibe
cool.
that they give, and I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Now,
All right. So for the
now,
listeners, we are currently looking at the rugby logos for the new U.S. rugby women's teams for their new league. So we have the New York Exiles, the Chicago Tempest. What is TC?
Twin
Where is that?
Cities. The Twin
Twin
Cities
Cities
Gemini.
Gemini.
it's Minnesota. Okay.
Minnesota St. Paul.
Gotcha. The Denver Onyx, which I really like.
That's my favorite logo. I think I might have to get a Banshees and Onyx jersey if I can afford.
The Bay Breakers
I'm assuming San
and the
Francisco.
Boston Banshees. So I love the Boston Banshees. I think that has such a good ring to it. Like, I'm obsessed. And also, the logo is just like a banshee. Like, it's so cool. The colors are very simple, but I think they really do it. You know, it's like 2 or 3 colors per team, and they're all like within reasonable. I like the Exiles. I think that's a cool name. I think these are just sick names, like in
I think
general.
it works because we have New York in exile, because unless you live in New York, you don't like New York.
That's not the reasoning behind it. That's not the reasoning behind it.
That's
And granted, I was looking at the Exiles. I was confused for a minute on why they called them that, but then I realized why. And then I was like, oh, okay.
wait, why?
Ellis Island, where all the...
Oh,
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that. I was just looking at it because I thought it was a cool name.
Yeah,
I was
no, I
looking
thought...
at it from like a
these names.
Yeah, my brain was like,
They-
oh yeah, that's where all the people came in when they were immigrating out of their countries and Ellis Island,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah. No, that
I
makes
assume.
sense. Is the Denver Onyx related to mining? I don't know
Boy.
anything about Denver, to be honest.
I'd assume so, just because a lot of their teams have to do with either mountains or something related to mining.
Ugh, that's so. I like the Onyx
Or
logo.
horses. Or orange horses. I forgot about that one.
It's the Orange Horsey team.
So, anyways, big fan. Really excited to see this get started. It's playing this year, right?
Not sure exactly when they're starting. I'm just excited to watch the Banshees. I was explaining to my coworker this, and she's like, I know nothing about rugby. And I'm like, I know none of the rules. I just know that it's athletic women like plowing into each other and trying to score, and I'm so down for that.
I watched
I'm
it in the
scared of
Olympics.
I
I
did
watched
watch
it,
it in the Olympics.
and so I know like 2 total rules: ball, run into end zone,
Yeah.
and also pick up people. And that's about all I got from it.
I was about to say, I don't know much either.
Did you see
So
the clip of Alona Mar when she scored? She was like talking about it, and she's like, yeah, I probably could have gone around her with some like footwork, but I was tired, so I just decided to go through her.
Alona Mar is an icon. Also,
Yeah,
she broke her nose recently playing for the Bristol Bears, and I thought her her posts afterwards were so funny.
been better, carry on. Been better.
Yeah, rugby, don't know much about. Only thing I know is it's the national sport of Fiji, but that's about it.
Just know that I'm ready and willing to learn and support the girls.
Oh yeah,
Same.
I'll
All
watch
right,
rugby.
so why don't we start our segment? Don't quote us on this, so I can tell you guys about the new Unrivaled League.
Our entire podcast should be don't quote us.
No, they
Mm,
shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
it's fine. Okay, so the Unrivaled League is a 3v3 league that has just recently started. It is a blast to watch. I personally have chosen the Laces as my team because I really enjoy watching Michaela McBride and Kate Martin play together. Also, I can't wait for Jackie Young to come back. I haven't seen any games where she's been healthy yet, so I'm really excited to watch her play as well. But all in all, really cool. So the way it works is it's 4 quarters. The first 3 quarters you play like a normal 3v3 game. It's full court and you're just playing 3v3. The cool thing about it is foul shots, you only take one foul shot no matter what, but it scales based on how much it's worth. So an and one is only worth one. A foul on a shot that's worth 2 points is that foul shot is now worth 2 points. And if you get fouled on a 3-pointer, that foul shot would be considered 3 points, but they only take one foul shot. And I thought that was a really unique, cool rule to kind of speed up because I think foul shots really slow down the game. And then after the first 3 quarters, the winning team sets the score to beat. So that really forces the players to fight to be that winning team because whoever sets that, and then it's 11 points past the top score of the third quarter. And it's an untimed fourth quarter, and whoever gets to that first to that final score wins the game. And I initially, when I heard these rules, thought that this is kind of dumb. If we're completely honest, I thought it was a terrible rule because I thought that the winning team is always gonna just be the winning team. But after watching some of the games, like the comebacks are insane. They're so fun. And also, this rule allows there to always be a game-winning shot. And I think that's really fun. So it creates a lot more like highlight reels and like a lot more excitement for the fans and also just for the players because it feels like no matter what, like this is it. Like you have to make these shots. And I really enjoy it. And I actually watched a couple of comeback games where I was like, oh, I didn't expect them to win. Like that's crazy. All in all, I think Unrivaled is super cool. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I also love that the intro salary is above the max salary in the WNBA. So I think that's fun too. So here's to women equality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. That's my soapbox, my spiel.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I just did some math. If Wikipedia is right, it says the total salary pool is about $8 million.
Yep, that's what I've seen.
If I did the math, I think it was 36 players total. I don't know. I think I did the math.
It's 6 players per team.
So that means on average, if everyone was making the same, if I did the math, if all of them were making the same amount of money, it'd be $222,222 per person.
Yes, so that's the average salary, and then I think the WNBA caps at around 214,000 per player per max salary. I think. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah. I mean, granted, nowadays, granted, yes. Do we wish to see the salaries go up for women in sports? Yes. Is it more popular where women are making a lot of money off of other deals too? Yes. So at the end of the day, they're still making bank.
But Marcus,
I do
would you
think they should
believe
have
me?
equal pay, though.
I agree. But would you believe me, Jay and Marcus, if I told you that the NBA All-Star game needed a WNBA player to save it, and she declined?
Yikes. Well, yeah, I heard about that, but still.
Caitlin Clark was asked to shoot in the three-point contest with Steph Curry, and she declined. She said she wanted her first three-point contest to be in Indiana at their WNBA All-Star game this upcoming year. And I think that's iconic. She really said, the guys need me, but you guys weren't there for us when we needed you. Icons.
I'd rather have a three-point contest in my hometown for my team or versus Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm. Well, there could be a chance that maybe they'll invite Steph Curry this year to the WNBA. It'd probably be good for his career. All right. So that's all of the really important segments that I had before we needed to just get into sports news because there's been
There's
a
a
lot of it.
lot. There's a lot of
Been a
news.
lot. So who wants to start?
Depends on what we're starting with.
Just stuff.
All right, Jay, hit us with your stuff.
Oh, okay. I need to figure out question if this is just a Massachusetts thing, if this is a New England thing, or is this something the actual world cares about? Do you guys know what the bean pot is?
The bean pod?
The bean pot.
Bean pot.
Bean pot, yeah, bean pot,
Yeah.
where you, like, as in, like, you cook beans in the ground? No?
No. No. Honey. Okay, so apparently it's just a Massachusetts thing.
Boy,
It's a hockey
sounds
tournament.
familiar.
Yeah,
The
no.
women's bean pot. It's so Boston is another nickname for it, which I hate, is Beantown. But
I knew that.
the women's bean pot just happened in Northeastern one. But it is a competition between Northeastern, Boston College, Boston University, and Harvard. And it gets really intense. I didn't get a chance to watch many of the games, but Northeastern kicked ass. And then the men's bean pot, I believe, starts Monday. And yeah, I guess it's a Massachusetts thing that we just get excited for our four little colleges to go play hockey. They played at TD Garden, and I believe like over 10,000 people showed up to watch the finals. So getting some decent numbers in there for women's sports at the college level, which I think is pretty iconic.
I will say it once, and I will say it again, and I will scream it from the rooftops. College is good for players, and it's why, in my opinion, I think that we've seen such an uprise in the NFL and in the WNBA and all of these others where they allow those players play for 4 years in college. Because sports fans start rooting for those kids, and those kids go on to be pros, and that makes die-hard fans. And I'm telling you, I've seen it, and we've seen the increase. And if you notice, the NBA has had a huge decrease, and I think that they should be forced to stay for that many years. I think it gives kind of like, it allows people to grow to care about those players before they're just traded willy-nilly to all of these different teams.
Yeah, that is one of the main reasons. I've got family and been to Colorado a few times, but that's one of the main reasons that the Colorado Avalanche is one of my teams, because Corey, my brother, went to school with Cale Makar in college. He went to Amherst, watched him play, and now Makar's younger brother is playing at Amherst. And I believe he already has a deal. I'm not exactly sure where. I think it might be to the Avalanche as well, but I'm not sure at all in that. But that's why my brother has a Makar jersey, and we love watching the Colorado Avalanche. And if we want to start talking about one of the other non-Massachusetts teams that I have, I've got news on Fleury, everyone's favorite goalie. I do not trust anyone who cares about hockey and doesn't have Fleury in their top 5 goalies currently playing.
Okay.
But Fleury is a 40-year-old goalie. And for a goalie, that is old, to put it bluntly. He recorded a shutout against Montreal in his home province the other day. And if you could have seen all the signs there just for Fleury, in a stadium that is not the stadium that he is, not his home stadium for his team. All the Fleury posters. And he is the first NHL player to record a shutout in his teenage years and at 40.
Isn't it also his like last game?
We don't. It's his last game in Montreal.
Yes, because he's retiring.
He is retiring, and we don't want to talk about that. But if they
Sorry.
don't
I
retire
don't blame
his
him.
jersey, and if they don't retire his number, I'm going to throw hands. And he is another reason why I really want the Wild to win the Stanley Cup this year, because I don't have any faith in the Bruins at this point. But he's one of the many reasons I'm rooting for the Wild for the Stanley Cup this year.
We don't
Give
speak that name anymore, Jay. Not in this household.
Not in this. Not. And I was about to say, I'll bring up the fact I looked up the bean pot. It is literally probably just a Massachusetts thing because it just is the 4 teams in Boston or
Yeah.
yes,
the greater Boston
Maybe
area.
but it
So
is
maybe if they
totally
invited the
fine.
other New England teams, then we would care, but they don't.
Well, we don't invite Maine. Ew.
Nationally ranked, my friend. I think we're nationally ranked above half those teams.
I think no, half of the teams because both of them are the other Boston teams. They're ranked above Maine.
I said half those teams.
You
Did
said
I
all
not?
of those teams.
I said half those teams.
No,
I
you didn't.
swear.
We have replay on
We
this.
have footage.
Instant replay, go.
In other hockey news, the Boston Fleet know who we are.
Yes.
Technically, what was the other hockey team?
The NHL team for the Predators, which is the Commanders.
Yes, their AHL team. Yes,
Yes.
they also know who
So,
we are apparently.
yeah, we have recently been posting on TikTok a lot, which is super fun, and please go check us out over there. And also on Instagram, but Instagram is kind of weird. We haven't figured out the algorithm yet there.
People don't like it.
But anyways, recently the Boston Fleet commented on one of our videos of Jay and I going to the game. And I think Jay slowly ascended to a higher place that day. And then also I think it was my prediction video for 2025, where because the openly gay NHL player, we had the Commanders comment on the fact that we were calling out one of their players. So that was
And
really
can you
exciting.
pronounce his name, or are you going to chicken out this time?
Oh, I'm so chickening out. It's Copper, right? Or it's not Copper. It's that's his nickname. It's okay. Listen,
I
To
thought
be
it was
fair, I think it was. But to be
hang
fair,
on.
I was
It's
also
Luke.
gonna
Hang on, Luke Prokop, I think.
yes, I
Procap?
believe so.
Prokop? Pro. I'm sorry.
To be fair, I was gonna ask Rachel when we were talking about Marc-Andre Fleury. I was gonna tell her to spell Fleury to see if she got it right.
Oh, we're not being mean to Rachel like that.
Is it like FLUIRE?
The
No.
buffering.
Yeah, just a little buffering signal above Rachel's head, just like
I A am dyslexic and B I just can't spell it. I can't speak or spell.
no.
Okay?
His last name slightly makes me feel dyslexic because of the way it's spelled, but still.
I would just like to say I will have a master's in a couple months. Don't come after me, alright? I'm educated.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. So yeah, then I just have my Super Bowl predictions, but we'll do that later. We'll do that at the end of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Alright. Oh. So, Marcus,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you tell us about the Luca trade? Because I don't think I can get it out.
I was slightly heated when I saw this because it's such a weird trade. Nobody saw it coming. I'll say that. Not even like LeBron James himself saw it coming. So that's something. But he got traded to the Lakers, which in my head,
Just really quick for reference, Jay, you don't watch the NBA much. Luka Doncic, is that how you say his
Doncic.
name? Thank you. He pretty much single-handedly took the Mavericks to the finals last year against the Celtics.
he was highly rated in terms of MVP, but I think he's lost every time he's been in like top 3. So.
Gotcha. Well, he's a good player, right? He can score. I personally don't like watching him play because he's a very selfish player, in my opinion. He doesn't really play team ball as much as he's just a very good, solid player. But the Mavericks don't have anybody worth building a team around, or they had him, but not anymore. At least in my opinion. I'm sure other people have other thoughts on this. But anyways, so he is one of the probably most well-known NBA players currently, still in his prime. Maybe the tail end of his prime, but still there.
No, he never left. He never left his prime. Were we kidding? Because when he was playing overseas, he was still doing the same thing he's doing now. So
Yeah. Anyways,
But
Marcus, continue.
but the way I see it, because this is the first time in NBA history that two players were traded like for each other that were on all NBA teams. Because Anthony Davis was all NBA defensive team, Luka Doncic was all NBA team, which that's the first time that's ever happened mid season. Off season, I don't know whether that's been a thing or not. It could have been for all I know, but that's the first time it happened during mid season. But it still confused a lot of people because I don't know if anyone saw that Dallas had a problem with him. If they do, but it was weird because I saw it and I was like, what? Because you would think you're building a franchise around one core player, which he's not that old of a player. I think he's only like 26, 27. Like, he's not that old. But the way I saw somebody describe it was it is slightly better because he's somebody that is prone to injuries. So you're trading away someone that has a lot of conditioning or that needs a lot of conditioning during his season and off season just because of how these injuries happen. Um, but it felt weird because Dallas, again, I think, granted, they have a player that does not that need to be named in terms of a Boston's fan's mouth. We won't say that name here. Not in this household. He doesn't exist. But like they don't have any. I mean, they have some players that they can use. Like Derek Lively, probably one of my favorite players actually in the NBA for the Dallas Mavericks. Like great kid, like one of the better players they have, but he's not like one of those franchise players like Luka is. So it's weird because, I mean, granted, I get the Lakers now got a franchise player because they have LeBron, but once LeBron's gone, they now have Luka to build around because the Lakers all have LeBron and Luka now at this point. They don't really have those big of names. Like, I mean, granted, they have big names that hear around the league, but still, it's a weird trade to me. But I don't know. But I mean, Dallas still got one really good young player in Max Christie because I do like him as a player. And then Anthony Davis is a really good player overall. But Anthony Davis is getting up there in age because Anthony Davis has been around for a long time. So who
Yeah,
knows?
I can't imagine like what prompted that, but it was very sudden. There was really no just one day woke up and there you go. So,
Yeah, it was funny. There was a small house party in Dallas where everyone saw the news at the time. And everybody started freaking out at the house party, and I was like, it is what it is.
that's funny. Okay. Well, we're going to go through some of the WNBA trades really fast because
There's a lot of them.
it's been busy. It has been busy and we could talk the entire podcast just about this trade
A
season.
lot of these aren't even trades.
Yeah, that's true. Some of them are signs. So Jewel Lloyd is now going to the Las Vegas Aces, and Kelsey Plum is going to the Los Angeles Sparks, which is kind of crazy. And I don't remember who Seattle got out of it.
Lee
Ling Ying?
Wu.
Yes. So that was just like a wild 3-team trade slash signing situation. That was just absolutely insane. Because Kelsey Plum is an excellent player, and Jewel Lloyd is also an excellent player. They've both won WNBA championships. They've both been core players on their teams. I'm not surprised to see Jewel Lloyd leaving because she was having issues with the Seattle Storm. I wasn't sure if Kelsey Plum would stay, so that surprised me. Brittany Griner, who was a free agent, signed with the Atlanta Dream, and this will be the first time ever. Brittany Griner is the giant of a woman who played for the Phoenix Mercury her entire career, is now going to her first new team, and so that'll be really interesting to see. Let me just say, in the trading season, the Connecticut Suns have taken a hit. Not only did they lose their lead coach, who is now the Indiana Fever's new coach, and I'm excited to see that, but also they lost, I think, all 5 of their starters. At least 4. 4 out of 5 that I know of are gone. So Alyssa Thomas went to the Phoenix Mercury. DeWanna Bonner actually is rumored to be going to Indiana. And then Dejanon Carrington is going to the Wings for JC Sheldon, who will be coming to the Suns. And then Brianna Jones will be going to the Atlanta Dream. The only good trade I think they did there that I know of that I was like, oh wow, that's an okay trade, is JC Sheldon. Because I think JC Sheldon's a very young player, and I think that they're trying to build maybe a younger team because some of their players were definitely getting up there in age, but they're still in their prime. Like, they're still so good. So I was shocked to see them all leave. They also have, they still have Marina Mabry. So I'll be interested to see how the Connecticut Suns handle trading season because they've taken quite the hit. And then also we have Sophie Cunningham apparently coming to the Indiana Fever. And I think that's it for the most notable trades. They've just been all over the place. Kelsey Mitchell re-signed with the Indiana Fever, which I'm really excited for, and somebody else re-signed for their team. That was notable, but
Well, I know Natasha Howard signed with the Fever, but she's coming back. Because
yes,
she hadn't been with the team since 2015?
yep,
2014, something like that.
yeah. So I would say that the Indiana Fever just elevated themselves, and I would not be surprised if they were in the running for a decent championship because they got some veteran leadership on their team, especially if Duana Bonner joins, because that woman is insane. I didn't like her when she played for the Connecticut Suns, solely because she played for the Connecticut Suns. And
Don't
where
come
I'm
on,
not
God.
rooting for New England, I have to hate them on principle. So, but now she's with the team that I follow, so I'm kind of here for it.
Morgan.
Okay. Also, I have some volleyball news. So I'm not a huge volleyball person, but I was really excited to see we had the first female head coach, Katie, oh God, Shamur Kali? I'm so
Schumacher
sorry.
Collie.
Schumacher Kali, okay. From the Penn State women's volleyball, they won their first ever NCAA D1 champion national title. So I am very, very excited and happy for her because I think that it's really cool to finally see a woman coaching other women and kicking ass. I think it's important. And so I wanted to bring it up here.
Do it for the girls in the gates. I'm sorry. I love that we live in a time where women's sports are starting to get the recognition that they deserve, and I'm just here to hype them up. And I'm so excited to see this happen.
We love a good women's sports moment. All right, Marcus, do you have any other notable news?
No, not really. I mean, the only thing I'll say about football is the Pro Bowl happened today, but that's just a bunch of players going to Orlando to have some fun, so.
Isn't the Pro Bowl for anybody that didn't make the NFL?
No, the Pro Bowl's for NFL players. Like, it's basically like their version of All-Stars.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Anybody that didn't make the Super Bowl.
Yes, pretty much. And then they have players, like, so it's funny, because they have a list of players, also, for, like, also, like, even the teams that make the Super Bowl are included in that list. But if those teams make it, they take those players off and they move some around that didn't make it to put them into it. So it's basically like you weren't an all-star at this point, but now you are.
Huh.
I think it's funny how they do that.
It's interesting.
They play flag football now instead of doing like a full game. It's funny.
They play flag football in the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, they do.
Have their precious little quarterbacks getting injured.
Oh my God. If I see one more thing talking about how we need to go back to prime Tom Brady, I liked Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots. But like, what the heck, guys? Relax, okay? Yes, he was incredible, but like, his time has passed. Let's move on.
He was incredibly annoying. That's the only thing he was truly incredible at.
I hate him so much. You're a New Englander. The only people that are supposed to like him are New Englanders.
I don't know. The Patriots and Tom Brady have always just given me an icky feeling. I think it's because I was forced to watch so many Patriots games when I was little and didn't give two flying shits about football. I think that's where my hatred of the Patriots started. But now that I care about football, I still don't care about the Patriots.
She's an icon, she's the legend, and she is the moment.
We'll just put this as a TikTok and at Tom Brady just to see what happens.
No. If I have to run the TikTok, then no. You make the TikTok and it could go in there.
I
But
would
that's
be
how we
very
go
curious.
viral.
I would be very curious to see if I would get more death threats or more support for my hatred.
You know what? Honestly, guys, make it a TikTok and we'll post it. Okay. So I think it's time. I think it's finally happening. We must talk about the Super Bowl. Bum bum bum.
And do you remember where they're from?
The Philadelphia Eagles?
Thank you.
Yes. I knew that they were in the Super Bowl, okay, because I saw Jason Kelsey talking about how he was rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though his brother was in the Super Bowl and he wasn't playing.
I'm rooting for Travis Kelsey, but I'm also rooting for my Eagles.
I'm tired of the Chiefs, if we're being honest. I was really excited to see them in the Super Bowl last year, mostly because I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan and getting to see her on the field and stuff like that. But I mean, they've won 2 years in a row now. Give me something different.
It's the same matchup as last year, too. The Philadelphia Eagles played last year against Travis Kelsey. Right?
I thought that was 2
Or
years
was it
ago.
the year before?
I think that was the year before.
Last year was
2024 Super Bowl.
Yeah, the year before I think was
No,
Eagles.
you're right. It was the San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers, yep. That
Oh
makes a
yeah,
lot of
okay.
sense
Sorry.
now.
It wasn't last year. It was the year before. It was
Year
the
before.
It just kind of feels like history repeating itself.
It
But
feels too similar. It feels too familiar for me.
it's not exciting anymore.
If Jason Kelsey didn't retire, we'd have another Kelsey Bowl.
I could see, the thing is that makes it more the same. However, I like the added drama of brothers going against each other.
Same.
But
okay.
living in.
I on principle have to root for the Chiefs though because I put it on my prediction board. I put it on a prediction board as a joke. I genuinely did not think that was actually going to happen. Like, what are the odds that you end up with a three-peat?
For them, very likely.
Yeah, I know, but I was like not expecting them to actually have such a good season, and so I put it on the prediction board pretty early on, and here we are.
My logical brain thinks that the Chiefs are going to win. However, I am actively rooting against them at this point.
I think most of America is actively rooting against them.
So what are our predictions? Other than we all think that they're going to pull off a three-peat, even though we might be against it.
I think we're going to see at least 4 flags because somebody roughed the quarterback.
At least 4.
At least 4. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like he always does. I think we're going to see what do you guys think? That's mine.
Your prediction is 4 flags. Got it.
4 flags against the Philadelphia Eagles for roughing the quarterback, even though they didn't touch. Like they touch him with they just go boop.
I think it's funny. And he falls over.
I think it's funny how Rachel's prediction is just flags, not who's gonna win. Just 4 flags.
We already agreed that it was gonna be a three-peat.
You said it was a three-peat. Do
you not think that they're gonna win the three-peat?
I think there's a good chance for the Eagles to win it.
Ooh. Look at Jay's face. She's like, I want you to be true, but I don't believe in optimism.
I'm sorry, when you have a running back coming off a 206-yard rushing yard game.
Okay,
I tend to think.
I am a pessimist, so I can either be right or I can be pleasantly surprised. This is what I'm running with.
I don't know. I think the Eagles could take it.
I would love for them to.
I mean, they're professional athletes. Either team could take it. It's going to be a close game. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game.
It just comes down to who defense is better.
I think it's going to be a win by 3 points.
I had that thought too.
That's a field goal, right?
I think we're going to see
a lot of
goal,
threes.
I think we're going to see a lot of threes. I think that either going to be a three-peat. I think they're going to be win by 3 points. I think we're going to see a big injury in the third quarter that might shift the game a little.
I hope Patrick Mahomes breaks his leg. I'm kidding.
That's a little far, Marcus.
Sorry, did you want me to say his wife?
I hope he mildly injures his leg, so much so that he can't play the rest of the game.
He gets a slight leg fracture in his tibia.
Hey, listen, I got a slight leg fracture in my tibia. That shit hurts. Let's not do that.
I think it's gonna go into overtime. I think there's gonna be a wardrobe malfunction in the halftime show. And I think
Who's
there's
performing?
A lot of people.
a guy. I don't care. Give me the women.
Hang on.
I also think that the Super Bowl commercials, there's gonna be more AI generated ad drama.
Oh, it's Kendrick
Kendrick
Lamar.
Lamar?
Yeah, a guy. I don't care.
That's like so lame.
That's mildly upsetting.
Mildly. Ugh.
I'm sure he'll do a good job. I'm sure it'll be fine. But
Who knows? There could be. Apparently, SZA's there.
there's rumors, and by rumors, I don't know if they're actual rumors with a base or if it's just the Swifties running wild.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
I'm pretty sure it's just the Taylor Swifties running wild. But there's like, yeah, but they're like, I think she's gonna have a little cameo in the halftime show performance. No, she's there for her boyfriend. She's there not on career basis. She's just there to have fun, in my opinion.
Gonna have a cameo during the halftime performance. I mean, a cameo during every second of the game.
Are you a Taylor Swift hater right now, Marcus?
When it comes to football, yes. When it comes to anything
Oh my
outside of
God.
football, no.
It was like
Okay.
13 total seconds in the last Super Bowl. Like, calm down, people.
That's
But
13
you
seconds too much.
Okay, but you have to admit that our podcast is a lot about getting people interested in sports and being a place where people who are new to sports can come. And
That's what the Swifties did. They said, I like sports now.
yeah, she did, like it or not, she did bring a lot of women into football and get them watching football. And I think there is something to be said about that. So like it or not, she's really helped out the NFL. So, and I do think that the Taylor Swift themed Super Bowl parties are kind of adorable.
Okay, I will say this much. I don't think that the NFL needed Taylor Swift's help. I think that they were doing fine on their own. But I do love, I've seen so many cute little stories about how these like fathers all of a sudden had something in common with their daughters. Like their younger, like 13 to 17-year-old daughters who were Swifties. You know? Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's hard to relate to a dad, especially when he's a girl dad. Um, because we don't have that much in common, and that's where I found common ground with my father growing up is I was always able to talk about sports with him. You know, I played sports, we watched sports together. Sports is a big thing for families, and I think that having somebody that both groups love can really bring that connection together, and I think that's really sweet. But I do understand where Marcus is coming from. I don't think the NFL needed her per se, but I don't think it hurt.
Think they needed her per se, but it did help them extremely in opening up to an entirely new segment of audience. Whether they already make billions of dollars a year, they don't need us, but we ain't hurting them.
I am not a Swiftie. I am a fan of the Swifties.
Indirectly
don't-
a Swiftie.
No, I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I just don't love Taylor Swift either way. Like, I'm pretty neutral about Taylor Swift, the same way I am about most pop stars. Like, I like some of her songs. I don't dislike that many of her songs. Like, I don't hear her songs. I'm like, oh my God, I hate Taylor Swift. Like, I think it's so dumb for it to be cool to hate people now. But like, I don't know. I'm just like pretty ambivalent about her. But I love the Swifties. I love the energy they bring. Okay? It's incredible.
Rachel only feels 22 about Caitlin Clark.
Huh?
You don't get that? You.
No, I get it. I only feel 22 about Caitlin Clark, but
It's
why
a
would
Taylor
I feel...
Swift song.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
Caitlin Clark's number is 22.
22, and she loves Taylor Swift. Oh, wait, hang on. Guys, I have the most important thing.
The picture.
We have one more segment we have to do.
God. What are they
Before.
saying to each other?
Yes. Okay, so in this segment called What Is She Saying? Wrong answers only. What is Taylor Swift saying to Caitlin Clark in this photo? Marcus, go ahead.
Boy, I'm on the spot.
You're not on the spot. I told you a week and a half ago we were doing this segment.
I completely forgot that we were doing this, I'll be honest.
Jay, do you have anything?
I think she's telling Caitlin Clark when Reputation TV is going to be announced.
Insane.
I think she's actually making fun of all the Swifties for thinking that she's going to announce it today.
I think she's saying, so when the ball goes through the big fork, is that worth 3 points?
I think she's saying, I'm having his baby. No, I'm not, but you should see your faces.
Well, you gotta look at Caitlin's face too, because Caitlin's like,
You know, if you play the Tortured Poets department backwards and at 2 times speed, you can actually hear me decoding the what's that famous cipher? The World War II cipher. You can actually hear me decoding that.
I'm very distracted by another big trade that just happened.
What happened?
So I'm just like, I was staring at my phone trying to read up on it. I was like, in the middle of recording?
hit us with it.
So I don't know. Obviously, people don't know players. It's another basketball trade, but not WNBA. It's NBA because the trade deadline I think is this Thursday. So Sacramento is finalizing a trade to send De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio in a multi-team trade that moves Zach LaVine to the Kings. And Zach LaVine is the star player for the Bulls. De'Aaron Fox, the star player for the Kings.
So they're just
more star players are moving.
Maybe they're just trying to generate audience at this point because it's had the lowest ranking I think ever. So they're like, maybe if we make a lot of really crazy trades.
I mean, that's definitely not the reason, but
it could be adding to things.
That's wild.
I think Taylor Swift is telling Caitlin Clark right here that she knows about all these trades.
Did you hear that this guy just got traded?
Did you? No, I know some. She knows the secrets of the universe. You can't convince me otherwise.
Did you hear that Sophie Cunningham's coming to the Fever?
I am not unconvinced that Taylor Swift did some Swiftcraft to rig the Super Bowl last year.
Taylor Swift doing Swiftcraft to rig the Super Bowl.
It was all in the script.
I think that's what she's telling her right there, guys. That's
because
what's
she's
happening.
An mastermind.
Yep. Incredible.
I wish there was more news on this trade that I'm reading, but there's not. It just obviously just happened, but still.
Yeah, it'll come out later.
This is wild.
You're TikTok intolerant.
I don't use TikTok.
I'm lactose intolerant. Jay's man intolerant. And Marcus is TikTok intolerant.
And this is why we're all very unqualified to talk about sports.
Well, I think that's all of the crazy, fun, silly news that we really have for you. So I think we'll wrap it up.
Hopefully.